I will be short with all this, but for example, it was well noticed by Pierre Bourdieu, the social fields could be said that are quite different, quite similar in their structures. So in such a sense, we could say that the field of art became quite similar to the field of economy, let's say, or the field of science, which could be a kind of a ground for these fields to begin to intervene, to mix between each other. And if before I said that what was taking place some 50 years ago, that the structure of art was opening, that the works of art were becoming more and more processual, that there was interactivity that started to grow, and all these very relevant issues that took place. But actually what also took place in the recent years is that the art projects that are really very contemporary based and tend to, through transdisciplinarity, began to be very well organized and research-based, which means that they're also very technically demanding and organizationally demanding, and they usually took several years to be conducted. Several theories theories about society, science, not so many about art, explain how many changes took place regarding the forms or the structures of projects, or for example the forms of culture. For example, there was a very influenced theory published by the group of theorists of science in the 90s, and they spoke about the mode 2 science as a science which is arising parallelly to mode 1 science, which could be said was a modern kind of science. So the science in the sense that that was developed during the modernity. So the mode 2 science is quite different than mode 1 science, and here you can see some differences. I would just like to emphasize some. For example, that mode 2 science is transdisciplinary mode, that there is heterogeneity in this this mode of science, that it is heterarchical, so that it doesn't have the hierarchical form, that it is very socially accountable and reflexive, quite the same thing, and that it includes people from several social fields, so actually practitioners collaborating on a certain problem, which was found and defined in specific context. Wolfgang Wensch published a theory on transculturality, and he was noticing that the forms of culture as we knew them from modernity, as for example the concept of national culture, were changing, have been changing, and that actually what is significant for the culture of today is that it is the structure is actually opening, and the cultures are mixing. And here we have one nice quote. He said that cultures today do no longer have the insinuated form of homogeneity and separation, but are marked with mixing and permeation. And he emphasized networking, hybridization, and cultural mixing. Here you can see that he actually defined the concept of transculturality on the macro and the micro level. So micro is the individual level, and the macro is the level of the society. As you can perhaps imagine, the changing form of culture also has a lot to do with the processes of globalization. So the context, which is important for all of these theories and what I'm speaking about, is actually the context of late capitalism. And here we have many phenomena which are also very significant, some of them being much discussed today also. So, for example, the consolidation of the significant information communication system and the rise of specific sciences and technologies. So, for example, according to to some theoreticians, we also live in the biotech century, so it could be said that biotechnology is the science of our age.